Hello, microphone? I think it's working now. Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. How are you all doing today? So yeah, hope you all had a good weekend. I have no clue what we're going to be doing on this stream today. I probably should have planned that out, but I've been working on a landing page for my Udemy courses. I'm going to try to, grab some of that organic Google search traffic and use my referral code to send people over to my courses, but that's neither here nor there. So that's my project lately. I worked on that a little bit over the weekend. I've been working on that obviously off stream. But in this stream, we're going to be working on the game like we usually do. And before I get started, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for purchase. This is a great way to support me, so definitely check that out. It's linked in the description below. And I also have my brand new online cooperative multiplayer course in Godot. So if you are interested in learning Godot multiplayer concepts, including server authoritative architecture, remote procedure calls, and the other high-level networking functionality in Godot, then definitely check out the course. Use my referral code, which is linked in the description below. I'll get the majority of the sale if you purchase it. And if you do end up purchasing the course and you go through it, leave a review. I'd very much appreciate that. I've got some early reviews in here. It's doing very well. It's got hot and new. But what I really want is I want to get that bestseller tag. So let's see if we can get that. But yeah, your support is greatly appreciated. And thank you in advance to everyone who already has purchased and will purchase it. Very much appreciate that. Oh, I don't even have Godot open. What am I doing? I guess I'm a little bit scrambled today. That's okay. We'll get this open and we'll take a look at what we're going to do. Maybe we'll do some fun stuff today. So on the stream, we're not quite done with the map. So maybe we'll do blinking eyes in the forest here. That will be good. So yeah, I think maybe we'll just do some blinking eyes for the forest. That will be pretty cool. And then we'll move on to something else. We've got some shop bugs to address, but I also want to, I just want to do like a balance pass. I would love to add some more artifacts. Again, we're kind of marching toward the public playtest of the game. So I'm going to be kind of reticent to add any new systems or features really. At this point, I'm just focused on polishing up the game, making it feel presentable, creating as much of a vertical slice as possible. So I want to create as much of a snapshot of what the final game will look and feel and play like, so I can get some accurate feedback on that before I continue into the full development of the game. So we're not going to be really doing any new big features, but there's plenty of new cards to add, new artifacts to add. We've got a bunch of artifacts listed here, so I think it would be kind of fun to maybe do all of these for the release, as well as get through a huge chunk of the enemy cards and the player cards as well. So that's going to be probably the focus for the next several weeks, and but yeah, let's get this eyes blinking in forest done for the map decorations. But before I get into that, hello iCode stuff, welcome back. Good to see you. Any Key, good to see you as well. Good morning, Schlurgy. Welcome, welcome. All right, so hello, Roger. Welcome. Good to see you again. So we want to do eyes blinking in the forest. Let's take a good look at the map real quick. And we'll see what we got. So the map is looking a lot better, just generally speaking. We've got fireflies, we've got campfires, we've got some various decorations. There's a little scarecrow there. There's some wagons and birds. So it's generally looking a little bit better. Hello, Vaughn. Welcome back. Good to see you. Frederick, how does Gunforge do with respect to feedback sales? It was a moderate success, I would say, for my first real commercial release. I would say that it went really well. I think I've sold over, well, I know I've sold over 2,000 copies. I just don't know what the exact number is. I haven't checked in a little bit, so. But it's done well for sure. Really liking the map. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's looking good. So yeah, I just want to add some blinking eyes in the forests here, I think, and then we'll call that good. Don't want to go overboard with any of the decorations and whatnot. So let's do this. Let's create a 12x6. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to, in here, I don't know how I'm going to get eyes to work, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll create like something like this. Or maybe the eyes should be... Yeah, something like that. Oh, that's just going to be a single eyeball though, isn't it? All right, let's do this then. Sprite. This might be too big, but we'll see. So canvas size, let's double this. 24, height 6, and we'll just do this. So we've got that. We'll try it like that first. Might even be able to make this a little bit narrower. Oh yeah, that looks better. So probably doesn't even need to be that big, honestly. I'll do this. That'll work. So we'll do one like that, and then we'll just do another one like this. Oops. How big is this? 15 pickles? That'll work. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Cool. We'll go into effect here. We're going to make this a standalone scene again. I'll call this forest eyes, I guess. And we'll just make this a standalone scene. It's going to be easier to control with that. Scenes, UI, map, decorations, boom. I'm going to add sprite 2D. Okay, eyes visible. And then we'll do eyes background, I guess. We'll do a new Atlas texture. Atlas, quick load, forest, eyes. Oh, I never exported that. Oops. There we go. Edit region. All right, it looks like it automatically configured the region. That's great. Make that texture unique. So now I can just toggle this. Oh, it looks like it didn't work. Step 8. Why didn't that work? Excuse me? Oh. This needs to be over. Okay, and then the eyes need to be here. Okay, so now we can just toggle the eye visibility here, but I can also do, I might be able to do flip H. Can I do that? No, that's gonna break. All right, we're gonna have to do something different here. So now what I should be able to do is with these eyes here, I should be able to just flip those to make them look different directions, you see? So I will just go ahead and do this. I'll create a script for this. And like we usually do, I'll just set up a tween for this. I don't think... Well, I do need this, actually. So we'll do node. Okay, and let's set up a tween for this. Public override void ready. And we'll do it in here. With all these live streams, I have a hard time catching up with the code review vids. Sorry. Sorry, Roger. You're just going to have to binge my content. I'm sorry. Did you get my email? Just thought I would mention it to you. Yeah, the one about the reverse engineering of Godot games tool thing. I did see that. Thank you for sending that along. Love the color palette of this. Thank you, Seal. Hello, Yeet. And also welcome to the stream. Seal, welcome, Yeet. I see what you're doing. Welcome, Adam. Good to see you. Define Dottie, welcome, welcome. I got my eye on you. All right. Why wouldn't you just use an animated sprite node? Because I'm going to give it some variation in how fast it moves. So eyes, you don't typically look left and right at the same rate, right? Whereas if I were to use an animated sprite node, I would basically have like a fixed FPS. I could modify the FPS, I guess, but it's just going to be easier to have the tween just on random intervals, shift the eyes left and right. And then also, I mean, yeah, that's just basically it. Do you have time to give a primer on Atlas texture? I've never seen that before. Yeah, it's very simple. So an Atlas texture, what an Atlas is it's a single texture that contains a bunch of sub-textures that you want to use. So this is very commonly used for like a sprite sheet, right? A sprite sheet, you can call that an Atlas texture. That's what it is. There are sub-textures within the single texture. And so when you define an Atlas texture resource, that's basically saying, I'm going to supply an image that contains a bunch of sub-images in it. And then when you go into the Atlas texture, you can select which region of the texture to use for the actual like displayed texture on the screen. And so I think there's supposed to be a performance benefit. So rather than having a bunch of individual sprites, if you have one sprite that contains a bunch of sprites, it's more performant because it's all reading from the same texture. It's just changing the region that it's reading from. I don't use it for performance reasons. I just use it when it's like, if I want to keep two things together and I don't want to splinter a bunch of files across the file system, I'll just put it in Atlas texture. For my artifact icons, I have those all in an Atlas texture. And the reason for that is just so I can see all of the artifact icons at the same time so I can match the style. So that's basically all that it is. And maybe I could actually bring up. So yeah, so this is an Atlas texture. I'm drawing all my artifact sprites in here. And again, that's just so that I can look at everything and match the style as good as possible. So that's basically it. Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Good morning, the Red Velvet. I'm watching from my new home. I just moved into another city in the US. Well, congratulations on the new home. How are you settling in? It can be exciting to get a new home or bad. I mean, depending on the reason for getting a new home, I guess. Hello, Xander. Welcome. Good to see you. You're welcome. You're welcome for the explanation. I usually upload assets with Atlas texture too. It's easier. Yeah. I code stuff. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. So yeah, in here, I'm already watching anime on my new TV. Nice. How do I actually want to flip these? Let me think. Do I want to do this? I think I'll do it as a tween, yeah. We'll just build the tween kind of interestingly. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to type today. Hold on, gotta lock in. We'll do a tween interval. And we'll do tween string sprite 2D dot property name. Oh no, let's do tween callback, I guess. We'll set eyes not visible to true there. If matthewtil.rng.randf is less than 0.25 and eyes.visible, or no, that's not going to work. Tween.tween callback, callable.from, if eyes.visible, eyes.visible equals false. So what's essentially going to happen here is on ready, I'm going to create a tween. I'm going to create 3 to 6 iterations of the tween. Every iteration, I'm going to wait half a second to a second. And then I'm going to, after that tween interval is over, flip the eyes and also force them to be visible. Actually, I should do this. Eyes.visible is always going to be true here. Let's store another variable. Set eyes to invis equals true. Let's move this out of here. Okay, so I just had to pull out that extra variable, but basically, because this is all being constructed on ready, I can't do certain logic in the tween callback because that's going to happen later after a certain amount of time. So what essentially is happening here is I'm flipping the eyes every time this interval happens, but then there's also a 25% chance that I'm going to set the eyes to invisible. If that ends up happening, I'm going to push, you can view the tween as like a stack here. So I'm going to push a callback onto the stack that will set the eyes to invisible on this iteration. And then on the next iteration, if set eyes to invis, which means that it was in the previous iteration set to invisible, then I'm going to set that to false and then push onto the callback stack a visibility on toggle. So that should basically be all that I need to do. And we should be able to run this pretty easily, actually. I'm just going to move this. I said I'm just going to... What? No. There we go. I'm just going to move that there and then play, and I'm just going to make sure that that works. It never set to invisible. Okay, that worked. I'm going to turn up this time here. That blink is not working. So actually what I'll do instead is I'll do this. Let's just do like a 0.2 interval. Yeah, that's not going to work. I just need to do a fixed interval after setting it to visible and then set it to true again. So now I don't even need any of this stuff. That was a dumb way to do it, I guess. That's okay. It's okay. We tweak. We will carry on with these eye jokes until Fire Belly joins in. I will not. Hello, K-Clouds. Welcome. I agree. Can't believe he doesn't enjoy... Oh my gosh. Missing a spark in his eyes? Okay. In fact, I concur. This is an eye pun stream now, I guess. I wish C# Godot had that bind implemented. I just don't like writing signal. Oh yeah, it's a little bit cumbersome to do the lambda functions, but it definitely is the more C# way of doing things. I couldn't agree more. I wasn't even paying attention. I was too busy reading your eye jokes. I should pay attention to the eyes here. And I think what I should do is put another one of these intervals after. So it's a little sloppy, but that's okay. It's just a little map effect. It doesn't need to be perfect. Why is that not working? Wait, I shouldn't have needed to do that. Why is that not working? The eyes are flipping immediately after blinking, which shouldn't happen. Or unless, am I looking at it wrong? Oh, maybe I'm just... I think it's fine. I think I'm just not looking at it correctly. Okay, anyway. Reset the position. So now we can spawn that. I'm just going to create a new export variable here. We're also going to need an eyes timer. So let's go ahead and where is that? We'll just copy these properties, 5 and 15, one-shot auto start. 5, 15, one-shot auto start. On eye timer timeout. This one's going to be a little bit tricky because I need the eyes to spawn in the... I need the eyes to spawn inside of the forests. So this is actually going to be a little bit different. Oops. Private read-only list, vector 2, eye positions. Okay, place decorations, create filter. So tree points. Where's my tree points? How do I want to do this? I think what I want to do instead is... let me think. I'm just going to do a separate... I don't really know how to do this better, but I'm just going to create the Poisson points with a radius of like 32. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, for each of our point and Poisson points, I'm going to sample the trees here. Actually, I could do it in place decorations here. No, I can't. Yeah, I need a larger... Okay, this is going to be fine. So I'm going to grab a tree sample here. iPositions.add point. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we'll call create iPoints. And then in this spawn I here, the I position is going to be, instead of this, it's going to be I positions. And it's going to just choose a random index in there. So hopefully that's fine. I don't know. We'll see. Let's run the game and find out. Actually, I got to build first. The eyes have it. Are the eyes supposed to be some sort of animal? Yeah, whatever you want, whatever your imagination makes them to be. They're good eyes. I bet C#, no glasses. Oh, I bet they C#, no glasses needed. Yeah, that is the scary part. I knew the villagers were up to no good. Are you a wizard at C#? Have you ever used C++? Oh, as you are a wizard at C#. I'm thinking about learning it. Okay, all right. I've used C++. I just don't, I don't have any interest in using it. Good on the necromancer for killing them. Seriously. Good morning, Arion. Welcome. I hate C++. There you go. Eyes really reminded me of Ace of Sphinx. Oh, gotcha, yeah. He's going to crash out if he keeps reading eye puns. Yeah, I might. You're going to read about me on TMZ. I'm not actually. There needs to be like a TMZ for like smaller internet personalities. That'd be kind of funny. I'm a silly hobby dev. I got distracted by Lua because of Pico 8 games. Have you ever checked out Lua? It's the backbone for Love 2D. It looks like a pretty versatile tool. I've done some Lua scripting, but I haven't really done a deep dive into it. Hello, Goat Fried, or Goat Freed. Lurking on your channel for the last couple of days occasionally. Like your vibe. Thank you. Appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. If C++ was enjoyable, they never would have had to create blueprints. Yeah, I'm a little spoiled. I like when the memory is managed for me. I don't want to manage my own memory. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I like syntactic sugar. The more sugar you give me, the happier I am. Bit puzzled. I could see it in his eyes. That's why I use Godot, yeah. Very few games using Unreal don't make my PC sound like a jet engine. Might lose an eye like that. Croissant points. I think Unreal isn't that bad, it's just the people companies can't be bothered to optimize their games. That's true. It's a lot of work. Oh, I get it. Alright. It do be feeling like I'm robbing myself of a .NET experience by sticking with GDScript. .NET is pretty nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, I need to put the eye scene in here. Eyes. Kerbalam. Alright, let's go. I'm the ideal test subject for implants. I have not yet seen any eyes. Oh, you know what? I wonder if they're being... They're probably being Y-sorted. So let's do this. We'll create a foreground decorations here. Foreground decorations. They're probably being placed in the trees, but you can't see them because they're being Y-sorted behind the trees. So I've just created a new node that they can be placed at, which should make them render on top. Oh, there's some eyes right there. Oh, they never queue free themselves. That's a problem. They never queue free themselves. So let's fix that. So fix the queue free, and we'll also change the timing on that. Eye timer, let's make it much shorter. 3 to 8 maybe. There's some eyes there. They're not exactly in the trees. So I kind of need to filter those points as well by distance. Okay, so I actually do need to do this. So let's do this. Poisson points is equal to create filtered Poisson points. Radius 32. Are the trees doing a far distance check? No. Can I do this? Wait a minute. There we go. That's much nicer. Okay. See if we get some eyes in the forests. There's one in that little batch of forest there. See if we find another one. There's one. Okay, not bad. I think I might, for the eyes here, I might make these a little bit quicker. Give them some more motion. Yeah, I think it's looking fine. I'm just observing the eyes. It does look like they're immediately flipping after being visible again. Does the visibility change the flip H? Maybe, you know what it might be? I don't know. Maybe I'll just do my own offset for this. I wonder if the offset center is kind of messing with things. Sometimes the offset center produces weird results. I can't really articulate when that happens, but I don't know. It's a small detail. I don't really need to focus on it, but I just wonder why that's happening. Yeah, it like immediately flips back. Am I doing something wrong here? So it should be waiting 1 to 2 seconds. Here, it's changing the eye visibility to false, tweening for 0.2 seconds, then changing it back to visible on. But then it's immediately flipping again. Why would that be happening? I don't know. I'm not really going to focus on that. I think it's fine. Whatever, it's fine. Stop the eyes. So you're saying you don't enjoy 25 to 30 keystrokes to do a print line? I don't. And you know what else I don't like about C#? I don't like all the, what are the, like the preprocessor, or is that what it's called? Where you define like macros and stuff. I don't like that. I think that just like clutters up the code base completely unnecessarily. Stop with the eye jokes. I feel like he's going to end the stream if we carry on. I'm going to ban everyone that makes an eye joke from this point onward. No, I'm just kidding. Eye sorted? No. We don't need eyes to see. I don't think he will. You can barely tell their eyes. Yeah, I mean, it's part of that might just be that it's the stream. It's hard to see on the stream. I have 2 questions about Godot, which might GDScript. Oh. When you queue free a scene, do the variables stay in memory? I feel like they don't, and I don't want any memory leaks. I don't think so, no. I think the reference counting is properly decremented when you queue free everything. Also, is there a difference between exporting a packed scene compared to preloading the scene? What is the difference? So preload works when the script is parsed. So it does the load whenever the script happens to be parsed the first time. Whereas export, I think, will load the resource when the scene is instantiated for the first time. But beyond that, like functionally, there's no difference beyond obviously being able to configure it through the editor. I love how many of my ideas are in this game. Yes, indeed. You've been instrumental. All of you have been instrumental in getting some ideas into this game. This is our game, he's just making it. I want half of the sales, thanks. No. You want to be the fire or the belly? That's a good question. What do you think, chat? Do you want to be the fire or the belly? Lincoln Pepper, welcome back. What's for lunch today? I'm feeling McDonald's. Look up, don't starve, eyes in the dark. I think a shape like that would look cool. Well, the problem is, yeah, I can improve this shape, but they're going to be too big. That's the problem. I don't want to make the eyes super big. Yeah, the trees are very small too. How's Fire Kitty? He's good. Thank you for asking. Subtle can be scary. Firebelly's McDonald's order. Double quarter pounder with cheese. And a Coke Zero. Fair enough, yeah. GDScript is clearly the superior language because you have to type less parentheses. Well, that's true. No semicolons. No semicolons either. Okay, add eyes. Okay, so the eyes are done, so that means that no more eye jokes. Bam. Okay, the map is done. Also, wait, no, it's not. There's one thing I want to do. I want to stop the eye timer Okay, stop eye timer when map is left. I don't want to just keep spawning scenes while the map is not in focus, so I just stop the timer on fade out and start it back up on fade in. All right, what should we do? Let's do an artifact. I feel like doing an artifact. Enemy minions have turn cooldown increased by 1. Bowl of blood, gain more blood. Noble pedigree, first purchase at shop is free. We did a basilisk eye already. Sundial, a chance for effect to apply twice. Critical hit chance doubled, but fail to deal, but chance to fail and damage self-heal enemy. Gain lifesteal, but max health goes down over time. Do I have lifesteal? I think I do, right? That might be a fun one. What kind of artifact would... I mean, maybe a leech. A leech artifact, gain lifesteal, but max health goes down over time. Although I want to do a leech for the player art, for the player cards. Gain lifesteal, but max health goes down over time. What kind of artifact could that be? Coke Zero because you don't want to be unhealthy. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. I will miss it. The eye jokes will live on. I don't love languages that rely on white space indents. Sometimes I want my if condition to return. Just stay on one line. I think you can do that in GenieScript, but I'm not sure. But I know what you're saying, yeah. I have no vision of the humor. The stream soundtrack really sells the dark, scary necro theme, does it? I'm not listening to it. I make you all listen to it, but I don't listen to it myself. I said it as a joke, but legit, the code being so much simpler helps me understand what's happening by a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's the main draw of like the Python-esque languages is that there's a lot less visual noise happening, and there's a lot more plain English language used. So I guess the whole point of those languages is that they're easier to parse and understand in terms of like human readability. Shouldn't that be a broken sundial? Maybe. Like a broken watch is right twice a day. Oh, that's a good point. A parasite? Yeah, maybe you could do like a parasite of some kind. A parasite. But what kind of artifact would that be? It would be like a parasite in a jar or something. It does not. I'm doing a pixel 2D game. Godot so hard. Well, yeah, you just got to stick with it, LF Mori. And welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, game development is very difficult. It's peaceful elevator music. All right, we're going to do the lifesteal one. I just need help thinking of like what the artifact could look like. I appreciate human readability because I'm a human. That's a good reason. It's a good reason. What would this be? What would this be? This could be like a leech or like a parasite in a jar. Could also maybe be like I don't know. A mosquito? A mosquito would be funny. Mosquito, I kind of like mosquito a lot, actually. Although the question is, do I want to reserve that for a card idea? The mosquito could do something interesting, like it could like store damage. So every time it damages an enemy, it like adds it to its blood bank or whatever. And then once it stores X amount of damage that it does, or once it goes like 4 times or whatever, it does like a big burst of damage. You know what I mean? So it like builds up strength over time and then does that. That would be kind of interesting. Maybe a type of mushroom because they get nutrients from trees and whatnot. Yeah. Save the mosquito for the dengue fever effect. I think I'm going to do a mosquito as a card. Mosquito. Deals damage and adds to damage bank after X executions. So the mosquito is a good idea, just not for the relic, I don't think, or the artifact, I mean. Maybe something like high temp power, but it kills you over the long term. Vampire fangs, that's a good one. Yeah. A wasp. I'm actually making a space shooter game right now in Godot, and I'm using components for it. Very nice, yeah. Composition is the way I'd definitely build like a shmup game. Definitely a good application of composition. Man, now I really want McDonald's. You guys got me thinking about McDonald's. Ugh. You guys got me thinking about McDonald's. It's been complicated to get the right functionality for it, yeah. Vampire fangs is a good idea. Maybe I'll do that one. At least get Wendy's. I do get Wendy's on occasion. I already have a leech as a player art idea, or a player card idea, so. But yeah, it is a good suggestion, Felipe. For anyone new, it takes exactly 0 effort to get them to thinking about McDonald's. Yeah, it really does. It really does. Okay, tell you what, if you guys want to keep brainstorming ideas for an artifact that can give the player lifesteal but also drain health during combat, put your ideas in the chat. I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break. I forgot my water, so I've gone almost an hour without water, and I'm basically dying. So I need to go get some water. But yeah, leave your suggestions in the chat and also check out the links in the description below. I'll be right back in 3 minutes and we will make this artifact. Your favorite niche internet e-celeb is back, everybody. I will accept your donations in the chat now. Anyway, I think having something like Vampire Curse to sell the part that you lose health over time. Yeah, Vampire Curse. Yeah, like a cursed object of some kind. Yeah, that's a good point. Basically, everyone's dying. Yeah, true. Hello, Artem. Welcome back. An hourglass filled with blood. That is an interesting one. That is a really interesting one. Maybe Curse of Vampirism sounds cooler. Yeah. An hourglass filled with blood. Yeah. Aren't we all basically dying? Yeah. Chupacabra. That's a little bit too detailed to draw for a... So here's the other thing too, is like any kind of like creature just fundamentally fits better as like a minion card rather than an artifact. So you could make the argument that artifacts also work good as cards, but I don't think I'm going to have like creatures that are artifacts. Vampire Fangs is the clear winner, but make it an homage to Johnny Dang and gold plate them. Okay. The Fangs or Cape would be nice. Is that Trello you're using? It's Obsidian. I haven't heard of Linear, no. What about a tome or scroll called Blood Pact? Well, I'm going to have a scroll item called Noble Pedigree. It's going to be like a scroll with like a fancy seal on it. So I don't want to do too many like scroll themed items. But a deal with the devil is kind of an interesting idea. He's so cool and famous, I wish I was. Vampire Grill, oh goodness. Okay, we're gonna go with the Fangs, I think. Although I do like the blood hourglass. So anyway, I already have artifacts open, so let's just start drawing this. Let's see how inspired I'm feeling today with art. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm feeling kind of inspired, so we'll see. That looks all right. Fangs are weird. Maybe I'll try a different perspective here. Oh man, this is gonna be hard. Maybe I'll do this. I'll do a slightly different perspective here. So let's try this. So I'll do this. Try to make that as pointy as possible. Damn it. I mean, dang it. You didn't hear that. All right, so let's see. Okay, so I'm thinking doing one like this. So they've like been extracted. I was gonna have it like attached to the mouth initially, but I think maybe doing something like this. Is gonna be nicer. It's so hard to get the curve to look good. I think that will work. This is too thick. I think this will work. So yeah, I could do them like I think. I mean, that might even be good enough. What I would want to do though is let's cut this one out, paste it there. Do something kind of like this where they're overlapped a little bit. Might be better for the other one to be on top. Let's see. Oops. Something like that, maybe. And then I can just basically just do that. I think that'll work. I think that will work. I don't know. Might add a little bit of orange here. I don't know. How are you feeling about those? What We Do in the Shadows. That's a good movie. I like that movie. Good morning, Emerson. How's that editor called? This is Ace Bright. Or maybe that's an old chat. Could have some blood dripping on the tips. Yeah, that would work. We could do that. Ace Bright, yes. They don't suck, but that's the case. But in this case, that's the problem, yeah. I always wonder about that. Why do you censor your language so much? Oh, just for YouTube purposes. I also just try to stay professional, you know. I just think it's more professional if you just refrain from overusing that kind of language. So yeah, I mean, it is nice. I mean, I get comments sometimes about, you know, people's kids sometimes watch, you know, with dad. But, you know, I just think being excessive is also just kind of like, I don't know, unnecessary in my opinion. Maybe we can get him to slip up. Yeah. I think there are more people with kids than kids in here. Yeah, seriously. Challenge accepted. I have kids old enough to have kids. There you go. We're all kids at the end of the day, right? Almost looks like legs and okay, all right. Does it look better now? I'm also creating pixel art with Ace Bright right now. How am I? I'm doing well. Thank you, Cat Hugger. Thank you, thank you. That would also explain the lifesteal and lower max health. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, Adam. Yeah. Are they looking better now? Do they look less like legs? You're making me self-conscious about my... my vampire. I think they look good. I'm going to try adding a little bit of blood dripping from these. Feels better to be professional with words, makes my life more wholesome. Yeah, they do look better with more colors. Yeah, I think so. So let's see. The problem is I don't really have... That kind of works, but I don't have a whole lot of room here. I'd have to move these up more. I think it was better before, actually. Oops. I think that looks fine. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Oh, the problem though is there's not enough space here. That'll work. That'll work. Okay. Let's group all these things. Okay, let's do fangs front, fangs back, blood. Perfect. All right, well, there's our art. I just need a minimum of 2 pixels padding on all sides for the outline shader. So really, I have, these are, what are these? 24 by 24 boxes. So that means that I have basically a 20 by 20 box that I can draw them in, which I believe this basilisk eye is in a 20 by 20 box. Oh, it's 19 by 19. Look at me, I'm the liar now, but you know what I'm saying. Cool, so there's our vampire fangs. We can export this now and go into, create a new artifact, vampire, or no, what am I doing? Artifact resource, vampire fangs. Vampire fangs. Art. Quick. No, we want to do this. Copy this. Paste that. Make unique. I wish there was like a paste and make unique option just to cut down on the number of clicks, but you know, whatever. Here we go. So we got our fangs now. Description. What do we want to do? Maybe gain 50% life steal, but Lose 5% of max health every turn during combat. Something like that. I think that will work. I should make lifesteal, let's see. I should make lifesteal an ability explanation, so we'll see. A pool of blood would be cool. I think it looks good. Maybe the top one needs a slightly less bent. Maybe. The blood dripping ends up looking like heals. I'm gonna literally die. Oh goodness. Did it end up looking like that? Would you say Godot 3D is good enough for smaller games? I really don't enjoy Unity, but prefer the thought of making 3D games. Yeah, I mean, there's several Godot games using 3D that have been made. Cassette Beasts is one of them, and I wouldn't even say Cassette Beasts is that small of a game, but I think it's small in terms of like the visual scope of it. So I think as long as you're not going for anything overly complicated visually, I think you'll have a fine time. That said, you know, you've got developers like the Road to Vostok developer that's making a pretty good looking game in Godot, so they indeed always look better with colors. Is it better to go C# for any 3D game, or can GDScript handle it well? Yeah, I don't think the language you choose makes a difference when you're talking about 3D or 2D. I'd say make the blood trip max 2 pixels wide, line with the bottom of the fang. The artifacts are looking awesome, by the way. Thank you, Define Dottie. That was like pulling teeth. Okay, here we go. More. Is this a pun stream now? This is a pun stream. Good morning, Lucas. Do you feel this low palette art much easier since you don't have to make any color decisions? Yeah, it's easier in some ways and harder in others. So the limited nature of the colors means that I can't do certain things. Like, it's hard sometimes to do proper shading, but it's easy in the sense that, yeah, I don't have millions of colors to choose from. Looks so good, thank you. Wouldn't be hard to make that a plugin. Yeah, it wouldn't. The copy, paste, and make unique. How do you make custom resources available from the menu? I've been copying and pasting them and editing them. I think all you need to do is just add the global. If you're in C#, what you need to do is artifact resource. You just add the global class annotation, or attribute rather, to the class definition, and then it will show up after build in the Godot resources menu. Will you eventually substitute these descriptions for keys, or use another method for translations? I haven't done anything with translations ever, so I will cross that bridge when I get there. I will cross that bridge when I get there. There's a part of me that's thinking I probably won't even do translations, but we'll see. Okay, so add Fang artifact, art, and definition. So now I gotta create the script. VampireFangs.cs. Localization is important. You can't run away from it. It looms over your project. I don't know if it's that important. I mean, yeah, if you want to maximize sales, but I don't, yeah. We'll cross that bridge when I get there. If I make a bunch of money off the English-speaking audience first, then I can do localization later. I mean, the plan for this game is I want to put it in early access, so I think that the success of early access is basically going to determine whether localization comes or not. So we're going to need some new stuff in here. On damage dealt. Damage context. I bet this game would be a hit in Transylvania. I need additional context. Public board. Or let's call this source board. Execution context dot source board. I just need this because if the enemy does damage to itself, it shouldn't count as lifesteal, right? So the lifesteal should only happen. The lifesteal should only happen. Yeah, so adding this to the damage context should be fine. So now what I can do is this Vampire Fangs public override void on damage dealt. We've got the artifact context, we've got the to board, and we've got the damage context where the damage is coming from. So var player board is equal to get board manager, get player board. If player board equals null or damage context dot source board is not equal to player board, then we'll just return. Okay. So now we're filtering out any damage that's done that was not done by the player. Oh, and we also want to do. No, we could apply it to self as well. So we just want to make sure that the damage is coming from the player board. We don't care what the damage is being dealt to. So now we need a life steal. How is that going to work? So damage context. So I said 50%, right? Let's do this. Or damage context dot damage type is not equal to damage type dot physical. So only physical damage. Why is this not capitalized? Thank you. Okay, so in here, what we'll do is we'll say var heal amount is equal to damage context dot damage amount divided by 2f. We'll be generous in this case, and we will, since I'm dealing only with integer numbers, it's possible that this division is going to end up, like if I deal 1 damage, it's possible that this division is going to end up being 0. It's a little bit awkward, but I think I like it. I kind of like how idiosyncratic this is. So because it's all integers, the mathematical calculations are not going to be exact all the time. So for instance, if I deal 1 damage and I'm supposed to do 50% lifesteal, what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to round it to, I'm going to round it up. I'm going to ceiling it, which is what I wanted to do right there. So that means that you're actually going to get 100% lifesteal if you deal 1 damage. Which is a little bit weird, but the only way around that is to stop dealing with integer values or to create some kind of like running background lifesteal that gets awarded to the player after it ticks up to a whole number. So I could say, oh, well, you did 50% lifesteal, but you only get 0.5 healing. So I'm just going to hold on to that 0.5 healing until that rolls over 1, and then I can add that 1 to whatever heal is happening. But I think that's just too complicated. I think I'm just going to do it this way. The game's going to be a little bit idiosyncratic in terms of how the math actually works, but I think that's okay. This needs to be sealed to int. False. Okay, so let's try that. I'm just updating some debug functions I have. Add artifact. There we go. Run manager. Game debug.add artifact. This artifact register artifact ID dot vampire fangs. All right, let's see what happens. If you pay me, I'll translate it from English to Southern. All right. Sounds good. I think with the numbers Gunforge made and the potential this game has, you would for sure benefit a lot from localizing, at least to some of the big languages. I'm sure that's true. Like I said, I'll think about that later. I know it's probably smarter to do it now, but I'm mostly just interested in getting the game built right now. All the annoying stuff like controller support and localization, that can all happen later. I can translate to Brazilian for free. Well, thank you for the offer. I'll translate to Elvish and Klingon. Awesome. If game not finished, finish game. If only it were that simple. Hello, Ali. I'm late this time. That's okay. Welcome, welcome. You're idiosyncratic. There you go. So 3 damage equals +1, overall -2, and 4 damage equals +2, overall -2. Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah. But the lifesteal is damage applied to the enemy. So it'd be like if you deal 4 damage to the enemy, then you gain 2 health. It's not like a net damage difference. It's damage dealt to the enemy heals you. That's what lifesteal is doing in this game. Let's see if it works. So I should heal for 4 every time this skeleton hits. Yeah. So skeleton is hitting and healing for 4. But I need the health to drain now. How fast will it drain? I have it set to, well, I'm gonna start it off with 5% of max health per turn. So we'll see how that looks. Where would I do that? Turn manager. I don't remember how this works. Oh, I see. How am I going to do this? I think in my turn manager, I need to... Let's see. Maybe we'll apply necrosis first. Do cooldown tick. Oh, do turn tick. Do I want to do it in here? Yeah, let's do it in here. So in this do turn tick, let's do this. Before the statuses tick, let's tick the artifacts. Public virtual void on turn tick. Artifact context, execution context. We have the execution context, so I can pass that in. And then what I'll do in the Vampire Fangs is I'll do this. Public override void on turn tick. What the heck? Execution context dot source board is not equal to so we don't care if it's not the player board that's being ticked. How is this going to work? Let's see. How does the died get handled here? Oh, it just listens for the death. Okay. All right, so this should be fine. I don't know how that's going to work though. No, it should be fine. I actually don't know. Emit combat ending. How does this work? Combat ending. Should end life cycle. Oh, I see. So this should end life cycle is going to get set to true ultimately if the player board dies. So what I was curious about is if I tick the artifact in here and it's the Vampire Fangs and that tick kills the player, what happens after that? And the answer is that, so I'm going to put the artifact tick in here, which I might as well do. This dot get artifact manager dot on turn tick. We'll do this down here actually. Oh, I need to shoot. Private void on turn tick. Execution context. Okay. This needs to be public, actually. So, on turn tick. So yeah, what's going to happen is I'll pass in the execution context. So if the player dies when as a result of this on turn tick here, that's okay. because it's going to break over here. But what I will do, just to be sure, is I'm not going to tick the statuses either if the player dies. So if should end life cycle, we're just going to return. But yeah, it's not going to execute any cards if it's detected that the player has died, so that's good. So basically the problem of this game is, like, as soon as something dies, I need to end the combat, because if I allow more stuff to play out, then it becomes ambiguous, like in terms of who died and who lived. So that's the part that I was mostly worried about, but it seems like it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be fine. So now I can fill this out, this on-turn tick. Time for game dev once again. Yes, indeed. Welcome, Jackie Daytona. Every time I watch this stream, I reconsider refactoring everything from GDScript to C#. Do it. I use C# for work and life already. Gotcha. If you do consider refactoring, check out Chickensoft once. Worth reading at least once, even as a hobbyist. Yeah, thank you, Chizuru. Hello, SL Wither King. Welcome back. Or SI Wither King. I don't know if that's an L or an I. Anyway, I think it's an L. Welcome, welcome. So now here, what I can do is I can say... player board. Max health. Alright, let's do health damage is equal to player board dot health component dot max health times 0.05. Let's do mathUtil dot seal. No. Mathf dot seal to int. Player board dot board combat component dot damage. Board combat component damage context. Health damage, damage type physical, is critical hit. False. Yeah, that works. I think that will work. I don't know, let's see. So I should see that my health should drain while I'm in combat when I have the vampire fangs. I'm taking 3 damage. Or no, 5 damage. No, 3 damage. Is 3 5% of 50? Yeah, 5% of 50 would be 2.5, and it's rounding up to 3. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cool, so it seems to be working. Probably we'll need some kind of way of distinguishing. We'll need some kind of way of distinguishing between... like vampire damage and whatnot. Oh, but it's healing me. Oh, I'm also getting healed at the same time. On damage dealt. So because it's dealing damage here to the player, it's also healing. Oh, interesting. If player board equals null, or to board equals player board, or... yeah, there's a lot of conditionality there, but I think that's okay. Let's see what happens. So now if I do this, I should just take 3 damage. Yeah, so my health is just draining constantly. And I just barely lost. Okay, so interesting. Let me see. I need to trace through how this damage is actually happening. Damage physical. Try create damage float. So this damage context, I think, is only being used for visual purposes, if I'm not mistaken. Well, actually, no, that's not true because I'm using the damage context value in here to do some filtering. On damage dealt. So it's not purely visual. I guess what I'm worried about is that this is not... This isn't added to the turn history. Should it be added to the turn history? I think it should. Shoot. What is this? Because here's the thing. I have a card called a slime, which is supposed to reflect damage that is done to you. It's supposed to reflect damage that's done to you. And the question is, should I make that work based off of the vampire damage? Wow, this is going to get really complex, this game. I think I do want to hook those things in together. The answer to that question should be shoulda. Okay, so let me just back up. I don't know if I'm being super clear. So I have a minion in my game called a slime, and the slime does damage to the enemy based on how much damage the player took since the last combat encounter. And so, if the vampire fangs are doing 5% of your max health as damage every turn, and it takes 5 turns for the slime to execute, that means that the slime could do 25% of your max health and damage minimum every turn, in addition to whatever damage you took from the enemy. So that would be like a really nasty synergy. The problem is that that's not actually enabled right now, because the way that the slime works is that it looks at this turn history object, which is a log of all the damage that's been done and from what source. The problem with doing the damage in the way that I'm doing it here is that it bypasses that system. So I need to make this damage tie into that system if I want to enable that. Sorry, I'm just thinking. So anytime that board component damage is done, it's always being done. Oh, it's not tracking poison damage either. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to, I'm going to need to do some refactoring here, I think. The good news is that the artifact is working the way that it should be. It's just a question of now tying in it to the other systems of the game, which is probably going to involve some refactoring, because what I don't want to end up with is a situation where I think basically what I want is I want all damage to the boards during combat to be tracked. The problem is calling .damage on the board combat component bypasses that tracking system. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lump in the tracking with this damage call and force those things to be tied together. But I have to think about that some more. So yeah. Oh, shoot. I have a meeting in 30 minutes that I have to get to. Should you floor the damage instead? Make it more forgiving for the player? I could do that. I could do that. New stream overlay. Yes, indeed. Welcome, my Kundev. Do you like it? Maybe you could round down to benefit the player. Okay, everyone wants it to round down, so we'll round it down. I guess what I was thinking is that if you could somehow get your health to 5 or below, then you basically wouldn't take damage from the vampirism, which, again, idiosyncrasies. We'll floor it. That's fine. We'll floor it. Here, I'll do it for you guys. Floor int because chat complained. How's that? I haven't been checking in that often, but dang, does it look super fluid during the combat. Thank you, Trace, and I appreciate that. I say yes because players love combos that aren't immediately obvious. Yeah. How do you use the state machine on your run manager? Where do state machine.update is being called? So state machine.update is being called just in random places. Or where is it being called? Oh, it's never being called. I'm only using, so this is just, I'm working with the tools that I have. Ideally, I would have built a different state machine for this, but I'm only ever using the enter states. So whenever I call change state to state boss, this is an empty state, but it calls the enter state boss. Because I'm basically only doing one thing at a time every time I change state. There is no updating. It's just, I just want to do things on state change only. Again, I would probably write a new implementation if I was wanting to do this like a proper way, but I was just working with the tool that I had already built, and that's the way to do it. Hello, Splat. Good to see you. How are you doing? That would be a crazy build. Max health buffs. Vampire Fangs will deal so much damage based on how many max health buffs the player can get. Yeah, I agree. Do you wear that to prevent carpal tunnel, or do you have it? No, I just to prevent it, to prevent wrist strain. Hello, Taxed. I don't know what you're laughing at. Oh, the commit message. Hello, Rin. Welcome. I love commit messages like that. Okay. So let's see. Do I have enough time to do this? I don't know. I have to get ready for my meeting. I don't want to rush this because I need to figure out how to tie. Basically, anytime a board takes damage, it needs to do a couple of things. It needs to flow. It needs to actually deal damage to the board. It needs to add that damage to the... What is the word I'm looking for? It needs to add that damage to the turn history, and it needs to display the damage numerical values that appear visually speaking. So I think I need like a single function that I can call that does all of those things at once. So that's what I'm going to need to do. The unfortunate thing is I don't want to do that like in a rush before I have to get to my meeting. I would love to show you guys what that looks like on stream, but it's possible that I won't be able to work on this game until tomorrow anyway, so we can check that out and find out together. The commit message, yeah. When we're doing a house tour review, a house tour? No, my house is not that interesting, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm unfortunately gonna have to end the stream there so I can go prep for my meeting. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And let me go ahead and pull up my course again. So I've got a new Udemy course available. This is the create a complete co-op multiplayer game in Godot 4. This will teach you all the high-level multiplayer networking stuff you need to know in Godot to make a cooperative multiplayer game. So things like server authoritative architecture, remote procedure calls, and the other multiplayer spawner, multiplayer synchronizer. So yeah, use the link in the description below. That link contains my referral code. If you purchase the course with my referral code, Udemy credits me with the sale, which means I get most of the money. So that's definitely a good way to help me out. I've also got all the other ways you can support my work linked in the description below as well. Got a full price, better not see it on sale. But thank you, Yeet, I appreciate that. Hello, I'm just wondering, how much of your game have you finished so far? It's probably like 30% done. Maybe less, probably less. Okay, thanks again, everyone. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, bye-bye.